Hi everyone, Marc Laurenson here, and we're continuing on with the South Node through the sign series. And in this clip, we're going to talk about the South Node in the sign of Cancer. So when you think about the South Node in Cancer, you immediately start thinking about family, don't you? But I think you have to extend it outside of family a little and start thinking about tribe or clan or culture or race or even country for some people. Now, the archetype for the South Node in Cancer would be the parent, particularly the mother, the carer, the nurturer, the nourisher. Some people might be thinking, oh, this is kind of nice, isn't it? It feels very warm, feels very loving, very cozy. But for a lot of people who've got the South Node in Cancer, it wasn't a great experience because you've got to remember the South Node brings in an emotion memory that needs to be healed in some form. So we're going to be looking at the moon for the South Node in Cancer, where the moon is by sign and by house. Also, of course, the house of the South Node itself. And we're going to be looking at any aspects that are being made to the moon and to the South Node to give you the full story. Because for a lot of people with the South Node in Cancer, and I know quite a few of them myself, they don't have children this lifetime. Now, Oprah Winfrey is one of these people. She's got the South Node in Cancer, and as far as I know, she's never wanted kids. And so it gives you an idea of what went down in the past life if there's a pull away from the family dynamic, this one. Now, there is always going to be something with the South Node that gives you an idea of the difficulty or the challenge or the trouble. So there is with the South Node in Cancer, there could be people who are overwhelmed by family and the demands of family, overpowered by family, being in a family and not wanting to be there, being forced into it. There could have been a loss within the family that they had to deal with, the grief, or having to care and look after somebody who was ill or sick. So you get a feeling that the South Node in Cancer carries in an emotion memory around a dependency of sorts. Now, a dependency of people on you, is a big one. But also a dependency of you on the family, because there's something with the family that keeps everybody safe and secure, even though it might have been difficult. There is something about an attachment to the family dynamic that you didn't want to let go of. So when you're looking at the South Node in Cancer, you have to always look at it in contrast to the North Node in Capricorn, because the North Node in Capricorn is a much more mature sign. It's about taking charge. It's about becoming an authority. It's about doing things for yourself, by yourself, with yourself. And you can see how the attachment to looking after people could actually be an excuse of sorts for not getting out into the world and making your own way, so to speak. So there's also a very strong protective element that comes in with the South Node in Cancer, keeping you quite protective this lifetime. Maybe there's a wall up between you and the world in some way. Defense comes into it too, not necessarily a defensive nature, but a strong fear of being hurt, a strong fear of people coming into your realm and upsetting you. Now, guilt comes into this. Nobody can make us feel guilty more than family. So there's a feeling of us feeling guilty if we don't do what the family wants us to do. Prime example of this would be, I know you wanted to be an actress, dear, but your father and I wanted you to study law. And if you don't do that, we are going to be really upset. You know that, don't you? So it's that kind of guilt, almost like an emotional blackmail style guilt, that we carry this lifetime too, where we always think we owe the family something. So over nurturing, over looking after. You can often be on the other side too, needing people to look after you or nurture you as well. That can come in with the South Node in Cancer too. Now, with the South Node in Cancer, you always have to replant it, so to speak, and regrow it anew. And it's always going to be helped by the North Node. So the North Node, with its take charge kind of energy, needs to come back into the emotional realms of the South Node, because the South Node in Cancer only deals on a subjective level. It only deals emotionally and through feelings. And so therefore the feelings have to be turned around. You have to take charge of your feelings, and you have to put your feelings into some kind of productive use, Capricorn style. And so here we have Capricorn that doesn't like waste, Cancer that can waste emotions very, very easily, going all over the place, needs to be put into something that's effective. So this is about putting your heart, putting your feelings, putting your emotions into something worthwhile that's going to go somewhere, that has a path, that has a trajectory. It could be something healing. Again, it could have something to do with caring, but it could be something to do with caring on a much broader, in a much broader way, in a much broader context, maybe in a work environment. So therefore, the Cancer energy now feels a little tiny bit more like it knows what it's doing, it knows where it's going, and you are actually in charge of what's going on here, rather than family and feelings being in charge of you.